So hi everybody. Just as a brief introduction, I'm going to tell you how it happened that we decided to have a chat as opposed to having a lecture. Basically, DIFFMED asked me what I would witness, what I would see is new in the field of biotech inception, because I've been working in very early stage company creations in the field of health sciences, mainly biomedical research. And so I've seen companies, get born, develop or not, and die or not, or be successful. And basically this year, what I've been seeing on a regular basis is novel ways to create a company in a way more, let's say, dynamic fashion. And very recently, I happened to meet some of these companies which have a different way to get constituted, which seems to be very promising. So I thought, let's share that with you. So I've invited these two gentlemen, and who are going to present themselves and briefly present their companies. And then we're going to try and debate very quickly about what makes these companies different, but probably promising a novel kind of dynamics to create and develop health companies. So whichever of you.
Sure. So hello to everybody. I'm Pierre Frouin. I'm the founder and CEO of Bioserenity. We are a medical device company focused on wearables. And our first area of focus is actually on epilepsy, where we have a full system, a head module and a body module to record the electroencephalogram with the head module and a number of contextual sensors on the body module. It allows patients to be recorded at home and then increase the probability of recording seizures, which are critical to the epilepsy diagnosis. So that's what we're doing, and I'll be glad to talk more about our technology and how we're trying to move forward.
Okay, so just your company is named?
The company is Bioserenity. It's a startup that's located in Paris, within actually the Hôpital La Pitié-Salpêtrière, the largest hospital in Europe. And in that hospital, there is a research center called the Brain and Spine Institute, for the French speakers, Institut du Cerveau et de la Moelle Épinière, and that's where we are. So we are a startup, a medical device startup, within this network of research, both on the research side and clinical side.
And how old is Bioserenity?
We were founded late 2013, so we're just about a little over a year old.
Okay.
Hello everybody, I'm Nicolas, the founder and CEO of Wandercraft. So at Wandercraft we are building the first autonomous exoskeleton for disabled people. Our target is people suffering from paraplegia and myopathic disease. So we were created 2 years ago, and we are a team of 13 people. So I, as the founder of Wandercraft, came from École Polytechnique, and we are young engineers from different fields. So our innovation with regard of the competition, which is global, is that our exoskeleton will allow the user to use the exoskeleton and walk without crutches. So without any effort, without being exhausted in 15 minutes, and it will be usable by women, or you can even imagine going on a walk in the forest or something like that. Our key innovation is based on dynamic walking. So we are using the latest advances in robotic sciences. So dynamic walking, which we can see in robotics, military robotics in the USA. So we are applying this technology to the exoskeleton field.
Okay, so for people who are more used to small startups developing drugs, this is very unusual. I mean, we never see, and hopefully we don't see, companies that are 1 or 2 years old with 15 people on board, because we can't finance them. And I've witnessed it. These two companies have pitched for a business competition very recently, and the jury was just sort of, I'm caricaturing here, but panicking. How come these young companies challenging, health issues that are very heavy edge issues, which would have a long-term development? How can they dare be so numerous? So how come you were 15 people on board for such young companies?
So the idea behind the Bioserenity at the beginning was that we're not going to reinvent everything, but we're going to use the innovation that has been done in cloud systems, in smartphone applications, and in sensors, and we're going to reuse that in the medical area. So that means that you're going to bring people from very different backgrounds within the same company. You need an expertise in textile, you need an expertise in sensors, electronics, onboard electronics, IT systems, both at the app level and on the cloud systems. And then you need, of course, the people from the medical side, which are the doctors, the researchers in electrophysiology, and the regulatory side. So that's a reason why we have a big team. But the reason in the end is actually, we're not afraid of burning bridges. We want to move forward. We want to develop ourselves very fast. We see the window of opportunity in that field is now. So we are going to take the risk and develop our technology very, very fast. That's why we took the risk of having a high burn rate and having 14 different people in the company. But so far it's been, it's paid off. We've internalized all the specialties. So we have people who are talking together on a daily basis and building a knowledge that did not exist before as a team. And that allows us to do innovation faster than was done by startups in the past.
Yeah. We have exactly the same kind of problematic with our robotic exoskeleton, because we have very complex systems which need competencies in mechanics, in mechatronics, and in command. And we need to make the people who work on it talk on a daily basis, because we have to do integrated design. So we need all these competencies, and we need also a biomedical engineer, regulatory affairs people. So it's a minimum for us to build something and to demonstrate something. And also we need to go very fast, because we have a very intense competition from the world. The competitors have raised a lot of money, so we need to go really fast and build something, show concrete result very rapidly.
So, as, let's say, an old-fashioned person, I'm going to play the role of somebody who is surprised. So this is to address multidisciplinary product development, which we haven't seen that much in the health environment up to now, which is probably growing very fast these days. And this is why I think that kind of development is something to be watched out, because more and more these conversions of technologies are going to give birth to very novel technological innovations. One question, why not partner? Why internalize so many of your technologies and know-hows and action plans? Why not, outsource?
Well, so we're not against outsourcing, but if you actually want to investigate a new field, you need to bring the people together and make them talk. And what we've seen is that some people who have tried to enter the wearables area in the past have tried to do that, taking people from different industries and building a consortium. And although that has some positive sides to it, the main downside is that everybody's preaching for their own technology, their own strategic gain, and the decision-making process is very, very slow. So they actually end up investing a lot more money than we did, and they don't have a solution. They're not going to have a solution as fast as we are. Now we're also building a core knowledge. We actually believe that, many of you do, if you're here, that there's tremendous opportunities in wearables in the future, And we want to have that core expertise within the team. So we're building that expertise by bringing these people together. You don't have that many universities that actually teach you about wearables right now, where the programs are only starting, so you have the juniors. It's starting, of course, but people with 10-year experience that know the healthcare side, know the electronic side, know the IT side, it's harder to get. So we're building that core knowledge by bringing these people together, and because it's all internal, it's a fast decision-making process. And then if we don't agree, I'm the boss anyway, so I can decide, and it's faster.
Nicolas, would you agree that having so many different experts, state-of-the-art experts in so many disciplines is really a key success factor of innovation?
Yes, because we have a big problem. As we are developing everything in parallel, we cannot specify for each department the needs, so we cannot use a standard process of development when you can specify to a partner, then he delivers the product you asked, and then you can continue, because we are changing every day the specification as we learn, as we test, as we build a prototype or things like that, and we need to have a quick reaction, quick change of plan, quick change of specification to advances in our field. So we need to have it in our expert team, and we have also the problem of the competencies. There is no knowledge of exoskeleton in France for the medical device, and there is no extensive knowledge on dynamic robotics. So we have to take people from different background and educate them on this matter. So we need to have them in our team.
Okay, so I'm going to quit the theoretical landscape and ask you, how did you assemble your teams so fast, so quickly, and so sort of numerous? I mean, we all know it's not easy to have a team work together.
So it's the first time I'm going to say that in public, but what I did at the very beginning is that I actually worked on the idea, presented it to the doctors, made sure we had a solid case, and then I needed a core team. So I ended up recruiting 6 people by telling them each one of them that we were already 6. So I told them, you're going to join a team of 6 people and welcome on board. And I told that to the other person and so on until I had 6 people. And then we started all together. And on the first day, they were like, oh, so how long have you been here? Well, I just arrived. And they were all very surprised, but all very excited to be on the venture together. And then after that, this is a little bit unconventional for a startup to do, but actually I used headhunters. We needed very specific profiles, and I had no time to focus on recruiting. And so I've built a relationship with 2 headhunters who, and one more specifically now, who know me very well. They know exactly what I'm looking for. They know that I'm looking for people who are dedicated to their art, who are experts in their field. People who are not very good or who are more interested by money. I don't want them. I don't want to see them. So that filter process is done by the headhunter, and then they bring me candidates that they bring to me. I know they're going to be good, and I only need to select between 1 or 2 and not see 10 or 15 and wait for hours. Then we also had a case where actually there was one case where we didn't have a fit. And the people, the young woman that I hired, unfortunately decided to leave after a month. She went on to work for a ministry, a French ministry. So as you can see, she didn't really have the startup mindset. So she left, and of course, we're all moving fast. So that was a big problem for us. And the headhunter was able to find us somebody who is the perfect fit in less than 10 days. And that's not something I could have done by myself. So we're working with the headhunters, even though it's a little costly. It's more efficient.
I think it's clear. It's all about building a momentum. How did you do that?
So the core team of Wandercraft was a team of friends. So I developed the idea and presented it to my friends, and we started with 5 people. So we were all from in different countries at this time, because I was in the last year of École Polytechnique in London. Over were in France or in USA, so we worked with Skype from long distance, doing simulation and things like that. And when we decided to launch the company, we were a team of 3 founders, each with a specific field. So I was doing the mechatronics, one was doing the mechanics, and one was doing the control command. And then we started recruiting very specific profiles. So we used Association Bernard Grégory, which is for postdoctorate candidates. And we had a very intense selection process where we did extensive testing, like 2 hours of mathematics and robotics testing. So, yeah. And people who was up to the test, we recruited them. So it was very difficult because we had a very high level of expectation, but we found the right people, and now we are delivering results. So.
And I'm not sure you mentioned it, but you ended up, I mean, you're a bunch of friends or friends of friends now developing the product, right?
Yeah, we are a young team of people. The mean age is like 26, so we are very young, and it's very cool.
Okay, so this is very different to what we see in drug development companies. I mean, you can see drug development companies losing one person, scratching their head. Oh my God, preclinical in gene therapy is very difficult. How am I going to recruit? That can take for 9 months or can take 1 year, and then you see the company lose momentum. We see that every day. It's much less often that we see people able to assemble a team because they know they can work in team. And I actually believe this is a cultural change as well. Knowing that you're going to be willing to work in team, assemble talents, be connected, and to achieve something way quicker. And I actually believe that momentum lacks most of our traditional biotech companies, and this is one of the reasons probably for which we can see them waste time, drag along, and finally just miss the steps and miss their fundraising because they've been too slow or not energetic enough. Actually, that's something I believe strongly in. Now, coming back to theory, they have great theories about how they are bringing management styles and management processes from the IT community that has shown how to go fast and efficiently in terms of creation and innovation into a heavier field, technologically speaking, which is, let's say, multi-technological biotechnology. I'm not talking about drugs anymore. Can you tell us, well, let's have Nicolas talk first this time.
Yeah, so in robotics we need to have a very close contacts between the different fields, and we also have a problem with using the material. We have only one robot, and we need to use the resource carefully. So, for example, we had a problem. We had a robot and an algorithm which was supposed to make it work, but it didn't work. So we put in place something which is called the Agile method, which is extensively used in IT field, but not in the robotics. So we put this in place. So it's a small team of people auto-organizing, choosing what to do to achieve the goal. And what was very interesting is that they can optimize the use of the resource of the robot and choose and see what is blocking the advancement of the project. So we succeeded in making the robot works in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. That was the time lapse they had to do the project. So it's relatively new in the robotic field and medical device to use a technique from IT. So we are trying to apply it. But for the long-term development, it's a bit more difficult to use this type of methodology.
Yeah, because you're going in uncharted territories. So using the Agile method, the Scrum, it allows you to have very short iterative time frames on which you're going to set a number of objectives. We do that every 2 weeks. And every 2 weeks, we reassess the movement. Now, we also have these daily scrums where you take 5 minutes standing up, all the team together. Everybody says what they've been working on and what they're going to do for the next day. And make sure that everybody is aligned. It only takes 5 minutes. Everybody's standing up, so you have an incentive to be short, because we also do it before lunch, so people want to rush out. Only one speaker at a time. You're not allowed to interrupt anybody. And by doing this, we're able to, although we have long-term objectives, we're able to readjust the pathway constantly. So the management method changes every time. So that said, these tools, Scrum, Agile methods, and so on, we mostly brought them from IT development. They don't work in everything. We've had to reassess how we do it on hardware electronics, and of course, when it comes to regulatory approval, the method is different as well. But they really bring a new set of dynamic development method that is very interesting for a fast-growing startup.
So good to see. I mean, you're not saying, okay, health is a very different sector. These are things that I hear every day, by the way. Health is very different to the rest of the world, so we have to do it differently. Actually, you do it the other way. Things have moved fast in other areas. Let's import these and readapt them to the environment. And true, regulatory is not light. So you'll have to keep thinking about how you deal with the heavy constraints of the health environment, but at least you'll have the dynamics and the momentum and tools and people in place that can fastly create a difference.
Yeah, of course, when you're talking regulatory, you're talking, dealing with external parties, and you want validation for a clinical trial from the ethics committee. It takes 3 months. So if you haven't anticipated that delay and you're doing your agile development, then boom, 3 months and you're stuck. So you do need, when it comes to regulatory, to really have a long-term vision and anticipate we wish it was faster, but the speed of the people we're dealing with. Yep, absolutely.
Of course, we can't do that in all health developments. Cells and animal models don't move faster than they can. That's probably one of the main differences. I'm not inferring that these remarks that we're having can be imported to any health biotech model, but at least with technologies that allow it, the difference really shows. I mean, these gentlemen, I met them for, 10 minutes? And I mean, the difference really bursts. So I wanted to share that with you. I don't know whether we're running late or not, because I haven't kept track. There is another kind of issues that you have ideas on is, we hear about open innovation. And so you've told us we need to master enough technologies with enough people inside to be quick and innovative from the inside. Okay, how do you deal with the opposite reasoning, which is there's a lot going on outside. We can't lose touch with what's going on outside because we need to stay at the forefront of the technological developments. So how do you deal with the sort of open innovation kind of reasoning of these days?
So being located within the ICM, the Brain and Spine Institute, we work in cooperation with a lot of researchers. Fundamental researchers, it's true, their time frame is not the same as ours. So we've had we've had to adapt ourselves and understand that they need a lot of autonomy. They're not necessarily result-oriented. It depends. Sometimes you find the right people, but so I mean, here it's just a question of keeping a close link with them so that you mutually learn from each other and your own environment. Now, what is clear is that the environment that we're in is favoring innovation. I think a lot of people realize that. And the innovations coming from other areas than healthcare that are entering healthcare right now, everybody is also very conscious that it's going to bring some tremendous innovations. So they're more open to understanding how we work and what we do. But you still need the good old-fashioned, here's the documents, here's the guidelines, here are the specifications, this is what I need. And unfortunately, sometimes you need a tool to constrain a little bit the relationship so that you know for sure that you're getting the results for your money. Yep.
Okay, Nicolas, the outside world is important as well, right?
Yeah, we choose our scientific partners, which was a former startup founder, so we could have the same mindset and work well together, and he understands our problematics. And we work with an American team, which is at the state of the art in robotic dynamics. So we went abroad to find the expertise we needed. So it's exactly the same. We are importing technology, robotic fields, which is not used in the health sector. So we have to adapt everything to our field. But we really need to communicate about what we are doing, because we need to attract talents. We need to show our innovation, to make exoskeleton known to people, to prepare the mind and to prepare the market.
And sorry, so if I may add, just one side that we understood also is you need to be open. So when it came to motivating the researchers, they wanted a new area of expertise. They wanted to be able to publish, and they wanted to have access to the data. And so because we have a point-of-care system and we're able to record patients, then you're generating a lot of data, right? And we could keep that inside, but we decided, no, let's first, of course, we're anonymizing the data, but then we're actually giving access to the researchers so that they can actually play with it, fool around with it. They're very happy that because they have a new big set of data that's very valuable to them that they would not be able to gather on their own. And we're happy because we're going to harness that research and then plug it back in the system by actually having digital biomarkers in our system that will allow us to read the EEG faster.
Okay, so that's from the very startup point, creating a collaborative environment with a very open-minded frame.
Yeah. We know the data has some value, but what are we going to do with it? We're 14, we're a small startup, we're in an environment where there's 450 researchers. Their brain power is so tremendous that they're actually going to bring more value to it, to both the scientific community and the doctors, that we would if we kept it to ourselves.
So I don't know whether everybody realizes, but how novel this is in the biotech startup environment, to have people managing so many different kinds of management processes, and they're actually doing as many different, managing different speeds and different investments in terms of energy and technological development as big companies are trying to do and have been trying to do over the last 10 years, trying to harness open innovation processes. And I think we're going to stop there because it's time.
Thank you.
Thank you.